So we're going to go ahead and take it. We'll go ahead and get started. So you take a comfortable seat. Comfortable seat. We'll roll the shoulders up and away from the ears. Keeping the chest lifted, we'll drop the nose down toward the floor, and eyes can be closed or soft. Just connecting with the breath in the body. Noticing how you're breathing, how the body is receiving the breath. Starting to draw the breath down into the belly, and also through the rib cage, expanding into all parts of the lungs. Use the exhale here to start to make that space in the bodies, dropping out of the thinking mind. And adding a little extra squeeze to the exhale. So it's like you're sweeping the floor. Pushing thoughts out of the mind and opening to the senses. And then focusing on the inhale, we start to draw in energies that are balancing to your being. So drawing in from your surroundings, energies that can help to bring you further into balance. We'll alternate the awareness. On the exhale, focus on releasing a little more, creating a little more space. Pausing at the end of your exhale and then transitioning your intention to drawing in balancing energy to the full length of the inhale. At the top of the inhale, we'll add another little pause in order to focus on the exhale and not releasing again. And you can make the length of the pause any length that you like. Just try to keep them even. Letting go of any control over the breathing, just coming back to the natural breath. On your next inhale, slowly open the eyes and come back into space. All right, keeping the shoulders back and down, we'll drop the nose down toward the floor and then let's circle. Circling with the tip of the nose, making the biggest circle that you can. You know, at any speed here. Just keeping the eyes a little bit soft, not overly wide. And we'll pause in that direction. Let's rotate the other way. These big circles. And then when you come back to that starting place, we'll pause here with the nose down. We're going to lift the nose way up toward the ceiling and even a little behind. And then we'll drop the nose back down toward the floor. So just going to be nodding the head here. We're going to move up and down, trying to get the biggest range of motion that you can. And you might feel a little stretch on the front side of the neck when you look way back behind. Just going up and down, nodding the head. And then we'll bring the nose level with the floor, coming to the center place between that high and low. And I'm going to turn left and right. So turning the head one side to the other. You're going to look over your shoulder on each side. It's left and right. And then work our way back to center. And bring the hands together and interlace your fingers. You got a little fist going on. I'm going to roll the wrists. Yeah, snap, crackle, pop. Mine are doing that. Just rolling the wrist around. Yes, and making a little circle. They might go the other way. You might hear some snapping. That's okay. And then coming back to center, we're going to bring the hands together. So pinky sides together, palms open, pressing them forward. And then try to straighten your elbows if you can. Yeah, good. And then we're going to draw the hands in, rolling onto the tops of the hands and press them out. Yeah, good. All right, let's do that again. So we're going to roll forward and open the palms, trying to straighten the elbows. And then rolling the tops of the hands together and forward. Good, one more here. Rolling forward, hands, palms forward. Rolling back and palms toward each other. Good, all right, and release the hands down. Let's take the left hand down, right hand up and over for a side bend. Inhale up and over to the other side, side bend. Inhale, back up to center. Let's bring both hands back by the hips and lift the center of the chest up toward the ceiling. Shoulder blades together and down. You might come into a back bend by tipping the pelvic bone forward, maybe looking up or back. And on inhale, come on, back up to center. Let's bring the hands to the shoulders, the elbows pointed out. We're going to circle with the elbows, these big circles. You can start slow here, keeping the breath flowing. I'm going to take it up a speed, so just one notch a little bit faster, same direction. And up one more speed, a little faster. Coming back down to that mid-range speed, same direction. I might start feeling some heat. And down to the first speed, nice and slow. And then let's take a rest here. I'm going to turn to the left and a twist. Inhale back to center and exhale, twisting to the other side. Inhale back to center. I'm going to bring the hands back to the shoulders. I'm going to go in the other direction. So starting slow, circling here. We'll take it up a speed, that mid-range. Anytime you feel you want to exhale out your mouth, you can do that. And then taking it up at fastest speed. And back down to the middle speed. And then that first slower speed. All right, we'll go ahead and relax that. We're going to come into hands and knees now. So hands below the shoulders and then knees below the hips, feet are hip distance apart. When you're ready, we'll come into a little bit of a cat-cow. So tailbone up, chest up, belly drops toward the floor. And on your exhale, arching the back, lifting the center of the back up toward the ceiling. So back and forth here. Eyes could be closed or soft, so just trying to not be too forward in the vision. Really staying with the spine. And the next time that you come into cat pose with the arch spine, that'll be the last one. We'll come back to a neutral spine. From here, let's take your right foot back behind, reaching through your heel, straightening out that knee. We'll lift the foot up in line with your hip. So you're taking your leg, leg in line, foot up, lengthening through the spine. You can take your left hand off of the mat and extend the arm forward, challenging balance here. So opposite hand from your foot. You could stay here if you want a little more. On your exhale, bend your knee, bring your knee to your elbow. And on your inhale, extend and reach. So if you want to do that, you're doing 3, and then we'll come back and hold. All right, we'll bring the hand down and the knee down. Let's come to the other side. So pressing back through your left heel, and then picking that straight leg up, lining up the heel with the hips and the shoulders. And then the right hand off the floor and arm extended. And again, you could stay here, or on your exhale, draw your elbow to your knee, and on your inhale, extend. If you're doing that, we'll do 3, and then come back to hold. All right, bring the hand down and the knee down. From here, we're going to come into the twist. So we'll take the right hand underneath of the nose, down on the floor. On your inhale, left hand up toward the ceiling, opening on the side. On your exhale, slide the hand along the floor through to the right side. Full exhale. On your inhale, open back up toward the ceiling. Just big inhale. Exhale, slide the hands through. Full exhale. Inhale and open. Exhale and reach. And inhale and open. And exhale and reach and hold. Maybe bringing the head and shoulder down. Just breathing here. On inhale, we'll come on back to center. I'm going to come into the other side. So left hand down on your next inhale, right hand up toward the ceiling. Exhale, reach through the left, full exhale. Inhale and open. Exhale and reach. Inhale and open. Exhale and through. And inhale and open. And exhale, reach, hold, and breathe. On inhale, we'll come on back to center. From here, we'll take the hands forward, spreading your fingers wide. I'm going to bring your hips forward in line for half plank pose. So hips in line with your knees and your shoulders. Broad across the collarbone, drawing those shoulders back toward the hips. Pressing evenly into the fingers and the hands. Just breathing here. Half plank pose. And then elbows in, we'll lower all the way down to the floor. Tops of the feet down on the floor, tailbone down, shoulders down the back. Elbows in close, lift the head and the chest for cobra pose. Trying to look up toward the ceiling, opening the front of the body. On exhale, we'll lower back down to the floor, abdominals in, push up for half plank pose. And then we'll bring the hips back toward the heels. Hips back toward the heels. We're going to tuck your toes under. And come into a balancing squat. So the way you do that is tuck the toes underneath and then lift the knees up. So you're going to start to bring your heels toward the floor. So what we want to do here is you want to try to find a spacing. Your feet might be wider, they might be closer together. You want to find a spacing that feels comfortable where you can start to balance. You walk your hands back and then start to bring the hands off of the floor and maybe bring the hands together at the heart and maybe starting to lift the head up and the elbows off of the knees. Just finding your balancing squat for today. Breathing. So maybe you can reach up so far that you can get an upright posture in the upper body. And then from here, we're going to work our way up to standing any way that you like. Standing in Tadasana, mountain pose. So feet hip distance apart, outside edges parallel. Shoulders back and down. On your inhale, arms up overhead. Palms together, cross the thumbs. Crescent pose to the right, dropping down toward the side. Inhale, back up to center. Change the cross of the thumbs. Crescent pose, other side. Inhale, back up to center. Release the hands to the lower back, fingers toward the floor on either side of the lumbar spine. Draw the shoulders back, tailbone forward, back bend. Lift the center of the chest up toward the ceiling. The further back you go, the more the legs need to engage. Tailbone down and maybe forward. And abdominals in, we'll come on back up. From here, let's take a slight bend in the knees, bring your hands down onto your knees if they'll reach, thighs are okay too. So knees slightly bent, we're gonna circle at the knees. 1950s dance move. Maybe it's 40s, I don't know, it's older. So circling in one direction. So you might feel your ankles moving, you might feel your feet kind of rolling. I'm gonna pause that way, I'm gonna circle the other way. And then we're gonna come on back up to standing. I'm gonna bring the hands to the hips and hula hoop. So opening the hips. Remember when you're hula hooping, you're trying to move the hips and not so much the head. The head kind of stays somewhat center. So knees might bend, the neck might stay straight. Gonna pause that way, hula hoop the other way. And then coming on back to center, it's twist around the spine. Letting the arms kind of flop around. And then coming on back to center. All right, so for balancing today, we're going to work on hand on big toe pose. If you cannot grab your foot with your hand, apologies, that was loud, then we're going to use a strap. So if you have a strap, a tie, or a towel, something that would allow you to be able to loop around your foot, you could do that if you can't reach your foot. A chair is helpful for balance, not required. So we're going to start standing on your right leg. That's going to be your support, your grounded leg. So whatever support you're using, if you need one for balance, will be on that same right side. Your left foot's the one that's going to come up. So you're either going to grab a hold of your foot or you'll lasso your foot with your strap and start to bring the foot up level with your hip if you can get it that high. So rooting down into your standing foot, trying to bring your posture back upright. Outside edge of that left leg, that left hip rolls down toward the floor. Just breathing here. If you want to challenge your balance, you could release your support. Keeping the breath flowing and the gaze soft. And from here, we're going to come into the side version. So if you're holding your foot with both hands, try to hold it with just your left hand. So we're going to slide that foot out to the side. Your other hand, of course, is free. Use that for balancing anywhere you like. Rooting into that standing leg. Deep breathing. And we'll bring the foot back in. And release the outside. All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and go to the other side first, and then we'll come back to this side. So coming to the other side, we're going to stand now on the left leg, rooting that down into the floor. When you're ready, hand on big toe pose, either grabbing the foot or using the strap, starting to bring that foot, if you can, level with your hips. Outer hip down on that extended, on that right side. So outer hip down, or you can think of the inside edge of the leg moving up toward the ceiling. Where your challenge is today. Keeping the face soft, gaze soft, breath flowing. From here, we're going to take that leg out to the side. And bring that foot back to center and release. And while we're here on this side, we're going to come into the revolved version, revolved hand on big toe pose. So you're going to stand on your right foot, pick up your left foot, the one that's closest to your support, and holding your hand, your strap in your right hand, we're going to cross over. So again, you could grab your foot with your opposite hand. It's another way to do it. Stretching out that leg. And now the lower body rotates toward the right. So starting to kick over to that side. The upper body rotates the other direction, opening your chest, possibly bringing your hand out level with your shoulder. Lower body twist to the right, upper body to the left. Revolve, hand on the toes, breathing. Lengthen the spine always when we turn. And then you can unwind, release. We're going to come back and do the revolve version on the other side, which was our first side we started on. So holding your strap in your left hand. You're going to stand on that left foot, lassoing your right foot, so crisscrossing, bringing that foot in line with, leg in line with the floor. And the lower body rotates toward the left, really opening that hip. Upper body rotates toward the right. Maybe releasing the hand and extending the arm by your shoulder. And on an inhale, we'll unwind and release. Good. Set your strap aside. You might get a chair, you can sit your chair aside. Let's grab a hold of your blocks. I'm going to work a little bit on pyramid pose. If you don't need blocks, that's okay. So if you are using your blocks, you'll have them at the front of your mat. We're going to take the right foot forward, the left foot back. You're going to square those hips to what is in front of you. Right foot forward, left foot back, hips square. Try to get your back heel down if you can. Both legs straight. Think of the outer right hip, drawing a line straight back behind. And let's do this with the arms. If you can, bring your hands behind you and come into a reverse namaste, bringing the palms together. If that doesn't work, just reach back and grab your elbows or your forearms, whichever one you can here. So I'm going to draw the shoulders back either way. So draw the shoulders behind you and down. Strong in the legs now, hinge at the hips. Reaching through the top of your head. But just pause when your chest is about parallel to the floor. Really engaging the legs, engaging the feet. Breathing. And then if you want to, you could go a little lower here. Again, dropping the chest down over that right leg. You could also just stay level and parallel. A couple more breaths here. And keeping the strength in the legs here, you can release your hands now down to your blocks or the floor if you can reach the floor. So notice what happens when you do that. Did you immediately sink onto your support of the hands and lose it in the legs? If that's the case, try to get that tone back. And again, if you want to drop now your chest a little closer toward your right knee, you can. Inhale, I'm going to extend the spine, coming back up, chest parallel to the floor. So if you curl down, lengthening out, I'm going to come into revolve triangle pose. Right hand with or without block in, or sorry, left hand in close to your front foot. The right hand will come up toward the ceiling, or it could stay on your hips. So your hips stay where they are, but the shoulders stack. Twisting the upper body. And again, trying to draw into your core. So you could actually lighten the load on your hand that's down. You might be able to lift it up. On an inhale, we'll unwind the twist back into our pyramid. Bend that front knee and come on up for warrior one on this side. So just bending your front knee, arms up. Good. Release the hands, we'll step the feet together. Other side, when I come into pyramid pose, left foot forward, right foot back. Squaring the hips to what's in front. Both feet active. Back heel down if you can get it down. Left hip moves back toward what's behind. So always making that leg super, super long. And then you can bring the hands behind. You can either again do that reverse namaste, or you could grab a hold of your elbows or your forearms. Either way, we're going to try and draw the shoulders back and down away from the ears. And then when you're ready, coming on forward, leading with your chest and pausing when you're about parallel to the floor. Strong legs. Deep breathing. Extension in the spine, so tailbone on the top of the head, reaching apart. And if you want, you could drop the chest a little lower over that front leg. A couple more breaths here. And keeping the chest where it is, you can release down your hands to your blocks or the floor. Trying to retain that tone in the legs, even though the hands are down. Trying to not sink onto the hands. If you want to drop the chest a little more over that left knee, you can. And then we'll extend the spine again. So it's, if you curve down, you're going to lengthen out. We're going to come into revolve triangle pose. Right hand closer to your front foot. Left hand now opens up toward the ceiling. Hips stay where they are. Shoulders stack. Breathing. And we'll come right out of the twist. With control here, bend your front knee, come on up to warrior one. And we'll release the arms, step the feet together. We're gonna work our way down now all the way onto your back. You could have a strap close by. So we'll start with the knees bent, feet on the floor. Just bring the hands to the belly. Just feeling the breath in the belly. Let that belly rise and fall. Allow the face to soften, eyes closed. Sensing the back of the body on the floor. Noticing the parts of the spine that might be lifted, the parts of the spine that might be touching the floor. Then we'll bring the hands down on the floor beside the hips. And draw the tops of your shoulders down toward the floor. You might scoop the shoulder blades a little more toward each other. So you feel like a flat shoulder blades on the floor. Tops of the shoulders also start to push down. You might start to feel now a little lift in the back of the body, a little bit of a back bend. Walking your feet in close to the hips. We'll find all four corners of the feet, the whole sole of the foot on the floor, both feet. And then push into those feet and lift the hips straight up toward the ceiling for bridge pose. Active legs, shoulders dropping down, pushing down into the floor. Tailbone points toward the knees. Still breathing uphill into the belly. Nice full breaths. And then we'll lower the hips back down to the mat. You're going to draw your knees in close to the chest and then straighten out the knees. And here, if you can reach your feet with your hands, you could bring your hands up and grab your feet. If you can't reach your feet, this is where the strap could come in. You could take a strap around your feet. So especially if you are holding your feet with your hands, if your tailbone's coming up off the floor and your hips are lifting, try to root it back down so you kind of bring the back of the body back into the earth. Starting to pull the feet over the head, still keeping the hips down. And then from here, if you've got a strap, you could release your strap. We're going to draw the soles of the feet together, and you can grab a hold of your ankles or your feet. Knees go wide. You're going to start to pull the feet in close to the body. It's a version of Baddha Konasana, bound ankle pose. Knees out and feet start to drop in close. From here, we're coming to happy baby pose, so kicking the feet up and separating them up toward the ceiling. You might be able to hold the outsides of your feet. You might be able to hold your shins. The knees come in closer to your shoulders. Active version here, use your arm strength and start to pull the knees down. The passive version, you can rock side to side and kick like a baby would. Whichever one you want. And then release the feet to bring the feet back down to the floor, knees bent. And extend your right leg long on the floor and pick up your left foot and place it on your right thigh. Left foot, right thigh. The right hand will grab a hold of your left knee and roll over to the right side, bringing the knee and the hand toward the floor. I might come all the way to the floor. Open the chest toward the ceiling and drop your left shoulder down toward the floor, opening the upper body to the opposite side. An option here, if you want, the right leg, just the straight one, you could bend that knee, bringing your foot in close to your hip. Reach down with your left hand and grab a hold of that foot if you can. And then once you have it, drop your shoulder back down on the floor. So kind of in this sort of twisted star shape. And then if you have your right foot, we'll release that, straightening out that leg, and then roll on back to center. We'll bring both feet to the floor and knees bent in order to make sure the spine is center. And then we'll switch to the other side. Extend the left leg long, pick up the right foot, place it on the left thigh. Left hand grabs a hold of the right knee, rolling all the way over to the left side, perhaps bringing the knee and hand to the floor. Right shoulder stays down, chest opening toward the ceiling. And the option here, bending your left knee, reaching down with your right hand, grabbing a hold of that foot and dropping that shoulder back down. If you have your left foot, we'll release that foot, straightening out the knee, rolling on back to center. And then bending both knees to make sure the spine is centered. And from here, we'll work our way into a Shavasana corpse pose, making yourself comfy. Hands could be, palms could be down or palms could be up, your choice. Allow the breath to deepen. It's a movement to return to one. As you're ready, make your way to a seated position. Hands together at the heart. Give yourself credit for showing up, for doing your practice, and for taking this time for yourself. Thank you also for sharing your practice with the others on the call and with me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.